This is Chief Chris Ubah, a very wealthy man from the powerful Ubah political family. Chris Ubah was at the peak of his power during the 2003 elections when he sponsored PDP candidates and rigged their election into office across Anambra State. In fact, he bragged about being the greatest godfather in Nigeria, stating how that was the first time an individual single-handedly put in position every politician in the state. Among the politicians Chris Ubah sponsored in 2003 was PDP gubernatorial candidate Chris Ngigi. Now, what you're looking at right now are copies of the terms of their relationship. Here, this guy prepared a written contract and a declaration of loyalty that the governor Chris Ngigi signed prior to the election. In one of the documents, Ngigi promised in writing to exercise and manifest absolute loyalty to the person of Chief Chris Ubah as, quote, my mentor, benefactor, and sponsor. He also agreed to allow Ubah control over all important government appointments and the awarding of all government contracts. Looking at these contract papers, you will notice something interesting. The contract referred to Governor Ngigi as the administrator, while the unelected Ubah as, quote, leader/financier. But that is not all. The contract empowered Ubah to avenge himself in the way and manner adjudged by him as fitting and adequate in case of any breach by Ngigi that could not be settled through mediation. After this agreement was signed, Ubah swung into action, pulled all the plugs he could to rig Ngigi into office, and he succeeded. Ngigi also claimed that shortly before his inauguration, armed men broke into his home and forced him at gunpoint to sign a pledge that he would pay Chris Ubah the sum of 3 billion naira immediately after assuming office. When he could not meet up with these demands, relations between Ngigi and Ubah deteriorated rapidly. And by July of 2003, a shocking story broke in Nigeria's newspapers. Governor Chris Ngigi was kidnapped by armed policemen and forced at gunpoint to resign. That is to sign his letter of resignation. Remember, this man had bragged about putting every politician in the state in their position. So, when he needed to use them to remove a sitting governor, it was an easy one for him. This is what politics in Nigeria is all about. Unelected men and women trying to hijack governments and impose their will on the people. To Chris Ubah, politics is just business. Sponsoring the governor is like buying a controlling share in the state's treasury. And this is what godfathers see when they throw their money at politicians. When it comes to collecting what they feel is theirs, everything is on the table.